Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to tackle B-roll. Okay, so a lot of you guys might be on this platform, you've been trying to make videos for the last little while and you have no idea how people do some of the things that they do. That's the same for me. I actually have the same problem. You can see from my lame subscriber count in the corner, I'm still working on learning how to do videos. I want to make them better. I love some of the videos that are out there and I've been trying to figure out over the last little while how I can recreate some of these things and implement them in my videos. One of the biggest things that I've wanted to learn forever is how to create good B-roll. B-roll is that little piece of video that shows a little more of the cinematic side of your story. It helps drive your story forward, helps tell people what you're doing, show people the different details, and I love it. And the people who do it great, people like Peter McKinnon, they do such a fantastic job. It's so smooth and buttery, makes the footage look so cinematic and good, and I've wanted to be able to do that forever. I have no idea how. And I would bet there's a lot of other creators out there like me who are sort of starting out. They've only been doing YouTube for a while. Maybe they get the basics to the camera stuff, fine. Like you can tell I've got the basics figured out. I've got sound, I've got a decent camera, I've got some lights. Things are coming along. But when it comes to B-roll, I have no idea. But I think the only way to actually try and learn how to do this is instead of watching those videos, I'm gonna have to try and figure out the tips that they gave me from all the different tutorials and things I've seen and start to try and apply it. And what better place to try it than your own house? So I'm going to use the camera that I have, the equipment that I own. I'm going to try and make the best of it, and I'm going to set it up in my office and try and make B-roll and something cinematic out of my everyday stuff that I'm working with. So I think a lot of people assume you need to have the perfect environment, you know, perfect lighting, perfect studio, blah, 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 to make something cool. And I don't think that's the case, and I think we're going to try and prove that. Obviously, I'm not a B-roll expert, but we're going to try and do what we can with what we have. You can see in my basement here, I've got in-roof lighting. It's not the best lighting, at least it's white, so that's helpful. But I wanted to show you what the actual office itself looks like that I'm going to work in. So you can get a better feel for what I'm going to do here and what it looks like before. So I'm going to give you a quick tour here. And then, you know, some of the stuff that catches my eye, I've got this microphone that's got a neat silvery end on it right here. I've got some splashes of color with the keyboard. I've got this boxing thing here. I've got a little bit of junk laying around that you see in the background, like that Superman. I've got some of these like old, a little hard to see here maybe, some old cameras in the shelves here that are pretty cool. I've got the lights on some of the equipment that I have that looks pretty neat. So, you know, some cool textures in the wood. Got the screens. So there's quite a bit of stuff in here, and you know, I think we can probably make something look cool. It's just sort of figuring out where to start. I'm going to start with a few of the basics. Some of the things you'll want to do if you're going to film an area is just make sure it looks clean and organized. Like right now I've got a couple things on my desk here. I'm going to take a few things off, make it a little more minimal. I'm going to clean it off, get some of the things like dust off the desk, and I'll start with that as my base, sort of. So we're ready to get rolling here. So I have my 5D Mark IV, I have a GorillaPod, which I don't know if I'll use yet or not. I think from an optimal setting standpoint, I'm going to switch this guy to 60 frames a second. If you're not familiar, you turn your camera on, you turn it to the video mode down here, you hit menu, and then you choose in the actual settings here, right here. Movie record qualities right here, you click on it, and then you have choices in terms of what frame rate you want. So I'm going to do 1920 by 1080, and I'm going to change that to 60 frames a second. So I can do that right now. There we go. So now I have 60 frames a second. So it's going to shoot at a faster frame rate, which will look weird when I play it back here, but once I take it into post and I slow it down, it's going to look a lot smoother and nicer. So the better I can hold it steady and the slower and better I can do this, the smoother it's going to look. So I'm just going to film the sequence now. You guys can watch. I'm not going to really talk myself through it. You can just sort of watch, and then maybe after we'll run through a couple things that I did. Oh yeah. Cue the cool music and get things rolling. Hold on, maybe I can make this better. Hold on, better? Wait. There we go. I'm gonna use this light. Okay, here we go. This looks stupid. Okay, here we go. Cue the music. Here's my cinematic sequence in its glory. Okay, so this finishes the B-roll challenge. I don't know how it's going to come out yet. I still have to edit the whole video. So I shot everything in 60 frames a second. I tried to get a variety of lighting subjects. I used 2 lenses. I ended up using my 16-35, my 50mm. I used a lot of manual focus and some, focusing in and out on different things. I usually tried to start, I'd focus in right where I wanted it at the beginning, and then I would usually move backwards so it would go out of focus that way instead of trying to go forwards and into focus. It was easier to get it in focus and then backwards it. And then what I'll do in the post-processing is I will reverse it so it looks like I'm panning into it instead of away from it. So those are a couple things. I have a feeling I did not get enough footage. Even though I tried a bunch of different things, I don't feel like I got enough. So I think once I edit it, I'll probably have 4 or 5 clips. So it'll probably be a fairly short video. So the thing for me is it is trickier than it looks to do this stuff. Like I am curious to see how I make it. It really was pretty tricky to do this video. I had a blast making it. It was a lot of fun. For my very first time trying to do something cinematic like that, it was a lot of fun to try and learn the different pieces to it. What I did learn from it was that when I was using transitions, if I was panning from one direction to another on both the clips, so the one I used and then the next clip, I found that I could make them tie together very seamlessly. The other thing I really used a lot of was the speed ramps. So going from slow motion to a faster speed, then back to slow motion again, made it look really great. Where the clips that I took didn't look that good were the ones where I had a static image and I was just, bringing it in and out of focus. Those never looked very good. The other thing that worked really well was tying it with the music so that as the beats changed, the actual clips changed, and then adding the cinematic bars to it and then a few sound effects. So once I kind of tied it all together, I thought it looked pretty slick. Obviously I can do a lot more and make them better, but it was pretty fun. If you're curious what software I was actually using there, that's the Davinci Resolve 15. I don't use Adobe Premiere, I use Davinci for that. I just like the software, it works really good, and I've been trying to learn it for quite a while, so I enjoy using that one. And it's also free, so if you're new to editing and you want to use a pretty powerful piece of software, it works really good. It's kind of the starting point for me, and I can start to figure out how to do it better and easier and with less thought, because right now I'm really thinking about all the different angles and all the different pieces to it, and I'm hoping over time, like a lot of things, as you practice, you'll get better at it. Anyways, that's it. Yeah, I'll probably wrap up the video once it's all done and you guys have had a chance to see it, but thanks for watching the in-between and behind the scenes. Thanks guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below, or you think I could have done something different, better, I'd love to know. Talk to you guys soon. Okay, so with the 50mm, I'm getting a lot more play on the lights. I have a lot more bokeh, so you can see a lot more. My battery's gonna die, but a lot more bokeh with the 50, so it's pretty sweet. I'm gonna give it up to people who do this on a regular. This is tricky and it's taken me forever. Maybe it gets easier once you get good at it. So I need a chair for this.